at the end of the day, we're all talking about the same thing. We're probably just using different languages.
Hey, look, man, my folks over here fuck with you because over here we're talking about wisdom. And when it comes to this wisdom shit, all it takes is wise people to come together. You feel me? Now, when it comes to nation building, that's a different story. You know, that's a thing on its own. But when it comes to wisdom, wise individuals have to come together.
You know what's really interesting is there was a guy who did he studied with the high class white man, right? Let's say Harvard, but he was a high ranking Native American, and he did a speaking event where he talked about where God gave 4 nations 4 sets of stones. So we talk about Moses and 2 stones, but what if there was 4 tribes, 4 skin colors, 4 understandings, 4 master of the elements that were spread among the earth, right? And he talks about it, and most people say he's crazy, but when you think about it, he gave the colored man water. Well, what do they want you to think? That the darker colored man can't swim, right? He gave the copper colored man the land. What do they do? What have they done? They've taken GMO over and they've conquered the land. And it is kind of odd. Like, you know, you can say it's real or it's not. But at the end of the day, there is some truth to all to this, I believe.
You said colored man, and then like 7 people left alive. Like, nigga, what's going on here?
Because
Right.
that's one of the questions I wanted to ask Brother Rashaud.
I'm fucking with you, Holy Trinity.
Because that's one of the questions I wanted to ask, right? When we're dealing with we're human being, right? Are human beings just copper people with melanin, or are they us and them?
Have you ever gone to work and had something serious happen in your life, and you tell your manager, "Oh, I need a day off," and they ask you if you could stay to the for the rest of the day, or if you could finish what you're doing before you leave?
Mm-hmm.
Were they always a white person?
No, they're just the people that own the corporation, or whoever works for the corporation.
Whoever wrote the checks.
You know what I'm saying? People with no souls, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the monsters. These are the human beings, the monsters, the lower animals. They have no soul. You could tell who they are when you deal with them, and they don't have a color to them. The trick is we think that the trick is when we were growing up, they made us think that it was one specific color. Whether you think you're black and you think your enemy is white, or you think you're white and think your enemy is black, or you think you're white or black and think your enemy is brown, or you think
and
you're
all
white
these terms are in the 1800s, right?
Exactly.
These weren't terms before the 1800s, before the Admiralty Law and the change of the Constitution.
Before all that shit, it was just nations of people.
That's what I'm saying, because like, okay, the way I had learned it right was that it was melanated people that were the first on the earth, right? And then they came along later, so that's all not true.
But this is what I've come to find out, and I could be completely wrong or completely right, but in alchemy, yes, the melanin is the first people. This is why you're bigger, stronger, faster, you have extra this and that. But there was a time when the moon didn't exist, is what some tribes say. And what if the moon is the pineal gland? The pineal gland changed the melanin. So that this is why if you take a Caucasian and you take them to an Ethiopian and they keep breeding, that in 3 generations, the darkest of anybody, I shouldn't say Ethiopian, the darkest of skin color will be almost white. So how is it that the Caucasian can almost eliminate out the skin color and change the melanin? But then was there a time with the pineal gland and not the pineal gland? Because the pineal gland secretes melatonin, which is a skin lightener, and melatonin and melanin sound awfully alike. But I am agreeing that you are that you are most or people listening are the first inhabitants of this realm.
Well, see, I learned that melanin is the dominant, and then white man has the recessive gene. So is that all not true?
I'll let Rashaud speak a little on that. He knows more than I.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's true. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know,
But I don't want to say things. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because
hey, look, hey, Holy Trinity, I respect you. Just being careful. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It is what it is.
I mean, Dr. Sebi said it himself. It's carbon and it's copper. Carbon is the dark colored man, and then copper is the white colored man. But the brain is made up of carbon and copper. But one did come before the other. That's why carbon is the sixth on the periodic table, and 6 is the number of man. All these things alchemically are related, is what I'm saying. 6 is also the first perfect number in mathematics.
But I thought we weren't mankind.
God created Earth in 6 days.
But I thought we weren't mankind, though.
Hey, I heard him reference the moon and the pineal and the changing of melanin. But what about the fact that the same people you referencing tend to have calcified pineals?
Well, that's because over thousands and thousands and thousands of years, we've had civilizations rise and fall and rise and fall. Some civilization figured out the anatomy of man, and then when they were laughed at by the church, what was their sole purpose? To conquer the church and the world. So the science of the Dark Ages, what they do, and that is what we call Freemasonry today. Is they figured out how to scientifically control man. They didn't need kingship, which means bloodlines, because that's what it was all about, bloodlines. They didn't need bloodlines anymore. Now they use science to rule the world.
But Rashaud, you must be bees, because I don't want to hear what you have to say.
Oh, you said I must be busy? Oh, no. I respect the 3 people that I just let up. I let them up because these are people I learned from too. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like recessive, it is true that, you know, paler skin is the recessive of the genetics. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because just as much as it's possible for a so-called white person to kind of bleach out the skin of a melanated person, it could be the same in reverse. It's all depends on who's doing this. You know what I'm saying? I feel like these things are such a situational kind of thing that you can't really place it firmly, if that makes sense. But we do know that the white is recessive, right?
Yeah.
So if you study like the mitochondrial Eve situation, they would say that for a melanated person to mix with a genetic recessive individual, it would lead to things like Alzheimer's and different cognitive dysfunctions. And that could be because of the recessiveness that's taking place.
Yep. That's just like all like put like this, the purple flower can produce every color flower, all the way down to white. But you can't get the purple flower from the white flower. It's not happening.
Right. That would be what makes us, that would be one of the situations that would make us more dominant, is that we can create all these things, but none of these things can create us.
So that's why I say I'm that's what I'm trying to learn, because I also learned that, with us being the dominant, the dominant gene or whatever, that they would claim, you know, we shouldn't mix and different things like that, right? So what I'm trying to understand is, you know, we are not mankind, we're not human beings. But you saying that black and white could be, I mean, well, copper and white or whatever people can be, both human beings and gods and goddesses. Because I felt like we didn't birth them, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's why I say I'm trying to learn this.
All right, so I just put it like this. I'd like to let Minor Soul answer that, but if we're saying we birthed them, right? If you birth a child, is that child not you?
I'm asking.
I'm just asking. If I'm a
Yeah,
god,
if I birthed a child, yes. But I just consider I say that we did not birth white people, so that's why I'm trying to learn this. You see what I'm saying?
I personally don't think we birth white people. I believe that because like I grow plants, and I've seen things occur in my garden naturally that I didn't do, right? Like for instance, if I grow a squash plant, the first year I ever grew anything, I grew squash, and when I grew the squash came up, but I also had squash bugs that came from under the ground. I don't know where the hell they came from, but I feel like they're organic, just like the squash is. But one is more parasitic, and one is the fruit. You know what I'm saying? But they're both organic things that exist. So I don't know if it's the birthing of it or if an environment creates things, right? So let's say if the moon didn't exist, right? Because I've read that too, and I wish I had the document because I have the one where they say they existed before the moon, right? And that would mean that the environment would not be the conditions for white people to be here. But if the moon suddenly came around, then that would change the environment to an environment where they could, because the polarity would make it day and night, hot and cold, and you know other things would pop up.
You know, I was going to add in that when I was doing this.
You need to get on the big screen.
Yeah, if you want to put me on there. Okay, so this one right here is a thing about the one in green is about the zodiac and the one that number 12 and the zodiac, and one is about the number 7 and the chakras, right? Now, the one in blue on the left is the 7 children that Jacob had with Leah, and the one on the right is Rachel. Now, what I think is going on is the lesser mysteries, which is the solar mythos, which is the 7-day weekly schedule, weekly calendar, 7 days of the week, all that stuff, is the lesser mysteries related to the sun. Now, the greater mysteries is of the moon with Rachel. And since when it says born without sin, it means born without the moon, born without, we'll say, feelings, born without soul, with just pure consciousness, right? And then when sin is with soul, when they say for our sins, the sin is soul and it's also mind. For the moon as well. It's left and right eye, left and right hemispheres of the brain. All right. And so it's a projection of what's going on in the brain of, we'll say, of the cosmic soul. So right now what we're seeing is exactly what they've been talking about, which is the lower becoming the upper. So all the crooked people are in power. All the dirty, rotten scoundrels that the meek, their meek means slimy, out to make a quick buck, and our meek is humble about choice. Yeah, exactly. So they try to scare you off with that whole sin. You're sinning, and it's like what you feel bad for. What are these bad feelings for? Like you didn't come down here with bad feelings, but yet you have bad feelings now. What do you feel bad about? You see what I'm saying? So, it's like some sort of discomfort in your spirit. So like that's what it is. Like, you know, that's what I'm taking from it. But it's like the lesser mysteries are trying to take over the greater mystery. Okay, so this material 3D world, 7 chakra system, reptilian brain system, is trying to take over the higher self, like the feminine qualities within us, which is like family, community, honesty, stuff like that. And when you look at like if you look at the names, you'll see 5 of the 7 names are the same, and I wrote them in red. I don't know if y'all can see the number 2. Yeah, there you go, Zebulon right there. And each one of these names, has a etymology definition. Let me see if I can pull that up. Okay, and so their 7 chakra system is on the left, and then what it pertains to in relation to the zodiac is on the right side. So to think is Judah, but it's Gemini for us, it's Capricorn for them. So when they say the goat, all this other stuff, they're referring to Judah as in the lower chakra system of Capricorn. When we say Judah, we mean the Gemini to think Judah. Okay, it's about the lower mind, the reptilian mind, versus the we'll call it the balanced mind. Okay, and so like I said, if you get the book Signs and Symbols of Primordial Man, they'll tell you about the story of Osarsif and how he changed his name to Moses and how he came over here in the 1500s and tried to flip everything from the lunar mythos to the solar mythos, because they were on the 7 chakra lower lesser mystery system, and they wanted to bring everyone down with them. So it's like a lowering of, it's like a switching or converting of, we'll say faith, right? Religion, right? And when you convert, it means you're a slave. So when you convert, you are a slave to it. And so like somebody was saying something about the age, or I don't think it was about the ages per se, but I think it was about, I think carbon, how do we get here? The 2 sides, right? Oh, how do I take this off? Whoops. So in the golden age, everything is golden, right? 1. But every time there's a split, there's a silver age and there's a split. And in the bronze age, there's a split. And in the iron age, there is a split. And when you look at it, it kind of looks like what? I'll draw
a pyramid.
Yeah, kind of like a pyramid. But more specifically, talking about the Yod, hey, Vav.
Yod, hey, Vav.
Yep. Yay, Ova, Yo, hey, and Yo. See, this age is Yod, hey, Vahe. This second one is Yehovah, and this is Ah or Jah, not Yahweh. It's Yah or Jah. And then you have the Yo, the hand. See?
So where will we be at right now? We're on our way up, obviously.
Yeah, we're going up now, but we're at the bottom in iron and clay. All right, so it's iron and clay, which means the men that have a backbone and the men that can be shaped and molded like clay. Yeah, Yah, Jah. It's the exhale, release, calm, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And so, it's raining. So that's when you'd be like, hey, how do we get here? It's because like when you pick these sides, one side is the black side, one side is the light side. Okay. And so each split is a left and right, each split left and right, each split left and right. And then when you do it like, let me grab some.
And peace to the people coming in. Tap the screen and all that. You don't got to share their live because I don't want no clowns.
Hey, why he doing it, brother Rashaud? Is this also in that book, or is it in another book of yours explaining this? Because I'm still confused on this, because like I said, the way I learned it, we were separate, you know what I'm saying? And I want to know how that relation,
Oh,
that
I'm getting to.
correlation and
I was just
everything.
about to get to that. This is your question, Jen.
But when you explain it to her, like, don't explain it to her like you would explain it to me. No offense, but she's like brand new to, like, I don't want to assume.
Yeah.
But if I did have to assume, I guess I'd assume that she's new to this concept of thought.
Okay. So the first thing I showed about the splits and stuff, right? Now I draw it like this, and you might see it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This in the middle. One of these don't belong, but pretty much it makes a Kabbalah tree.
Oh, this nigga just made it harder.
Right? Not to be confused, right? So what we're gonna say is, when you start from the golden age up here, and you pick, what side are you gonna be on? And then the next age, you pick, what side you're gonna be on. Next age, you pick, what side you're gonna be on, right? So when they start talking about the triple black, the triple right side of it is this. Some people go over here. Okay? And the further down you go, the stronger more or less you get, because the harder it is. Okay? And so some people might pick this, and then come over here. Some of us are we just over here. You know what I'm saying? But I will say the quality of life, the further away you'll get from the darkness, the hurt, the everything to make you tough and give you the toughness, the other side, they don't want that. They want the lighter version. It's a little bit lighter. It's less damning, right? It's less tough. But if you can complete the cycle and stay tough the whole time, then you might come out looking different. So this is what it means. I don't want to say this is what it means, but this will give you an idea of like choices, and the choices shaping what you will become. And right now, this whole thing is, we're tender down here. This is the tender part of us. We are like the receptacle of what goes on in the soul, and everything that is left over, it makes up us. Okay. And that's why we do the alchemy down here, to transform the leftovers into something great. You see what I'm saying? But the more innovation, ingenuity, and everything you have, that's the pressure being put on you, because confinement breeds innovation, change, metamorphosis, things like that. And so, like, the tighter you feel, the more innovation and change you're going to have. And if those that don't have that type of restraint and constrictions on them, they would therefore need to put that on someone else so they can have some innovation for themselves. And so they offer tender, legal tender. You see what I'm saying? Whoops. They offer us tender for all debts, public and private.
I'm just gonna be honest, bro, Rashaud. I'm still confused, so I have to keep coming back. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would never expect all of this to be something you get in one day. Yeah. Because this nigga, he's showing you some shit that he been studying for a lifetime on some whiteboards and shit. Right? But it's like hundreds of books and shit worth of what he's expressing on a piece of paper. But I feel like in reality, when it comes to wisdom at this level, I don't know how important who came first is.
I'll say like this: the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. When you bite into that victory, when you bite into your life and take a bite, do you want it to be sweet or bitter?
Sweet.
All right. So the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. The more stuff you go through, the more stuff that you get caked on yourself, the more dirt, the more mud, the more darkness, And when you come up out of it, just think of how sweet you're going to taste. How irresistible you're going to be.
I was about to say I'm sweet, but I took it back immediately. I was like, wait, I'm not.
This is for her. This is for her. Rashaud, you got to get your own candy.
Because I learned it all wrong, and like I said, it's kind of confusing me. So I'm gonna have to look a little deeper into it because, like I said, I feel like we were separate.
I don't think you learned it all wrong, but I think when it comes to like who came first, where people came from, I feel like you get better answers when you're not trying to prove it in a damning the other person way, but when you're just trying to figure it out in a true, just what's the truth, it makes it easier to put it all together. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when people talk about, oh, you know, niggas was here first, it's just because they're trying to damn everybody else. You feel me? But most nations in their truth, they know that it was darkness came before light. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a fight for anybody with true wisdom. You know,
and for them to say that they were here first, they would have to discover the other people and then find out who was here longer. Like, it's like we don't have to. Like, I'll say, like, who was here first now? It means, I don't want to say it means less, but the focus now is shifted on how can we change the current situation and standards that we find ourselves in. You know what I'm saying? I got a thing that says big shit first. I'm sorry, my bad, Rashaud. Big stuff first. You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
Yeah.
I've been cussing.
Oh, okay.
I just said nigga like 50,000 times.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah. You know how I am on mine. I just don't want to come over and mess up nobody else's.
Sorry. I feel like if you do whatever you do, they're gonna tell me to get rid of you, not my life. So
yeah, that's true. That's what they did the last couple of times. Yeah, hey, get rid of this light skin dude. He is getting on my nerves.
And see, I learned that that white people were, you know, human beings, and we were the we are the original beings of the earth, right? So that's what I'm saying. Because when I heard you say human beings were monsters, that's why I say I got to get you know, learn more about it because, yeah, I gotta learn more about it. I'm just leave it like this.
Yeah, like I said, this took you know, if you got this on your first try, then I would be very interested in trying to tell you some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it just means you're on a different level of understanding. Like, it's your first time. Like, I've been through so many tailspins trying to figure stuff out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said,
yeah, don't beat yourself up. You know what I'm saying? Don't beat yourself up about it. Just keep coming back, you know, and it is what it is. Keep coming back. Keep asking a million questions. There ain't no such thing as a dumb question unless the question is dumb. You know what I'm saying? So just keep on asking questions, and it is what it is. Like, a lot of times I'll be in a conversation and people will say things that's above where like my understanding of it is, but I still listen to it like I get it, you know, and then and then I take whatever I can and I try to look into it. And then the next time I come back, I got a little bit more that I know on my own. And I keep doing that until one day I'm like, yo, let me up there. And then I add my shit in there. And then they're like, oh, hell yeah, you know, da, da, da. And they don't even know that I didn't know shit like 2 weeks ago. Because I just, you know.
You know, one of the things that I try to tell people is that knowledge is to be picked up from every kind of source. It's just a part of breaking it down and realizing what's beneficial to you and what's not is what's most important.
Facts. I feel like, you know, yeah, like we just gotta find what is it? Wise counsel, keep wise company, and you'll be wise. It just, you have no choice. You know, if you keep wise company, wisdom will be bestowed upon you even when you're not trying. You are the company you keep. So if you want to gain understanding, be around people that give that freely, you know, in abundance, and you have no choice but to get some, right? Because it's everywhere, right? So if I want to put myself in a position where I have less and less questions about a topic, I'm gonna grow around the people that have more and more answers about the topic. And even when I'm not trying, I'm gonna be getting the answers just by listening. I might even pick that shit up spiritually through a collective consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. But I think when it comes to the question you're asking, maybe I want to hear your question in a different format. Like, ask your question, but confidently, and even if it sounds like mean, just ask it. You know what I mean? Like, don't skate around a question. Just be like, yo, did niggas come first? And if we did, and we're the guys and goddesses, what does that make these other people? I feel like that's what you're trying to say. You know? But nobody can assume. But I feel
said
like
I'm trying to unmute, but yeah, that's why I'm asking, because like I said, I feel like, and I'm just gonna be honest, I feel like fuck what white people say, because they're all liars. I don't want to learn shit from them. I don't read books written by white men because I feel like they all liars. So, and I feel like white people couldn't be spiritual because they didn't have no soul. So then when you tell me that we all are alike, it makes me think, because, you know, like they say in the spirit world, there's no color. And I'm like, because one time they're going to tell me, well, you might have been white in your, you know, past lives. I said, the fuck you preach, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm going to have to learn more.
Can I add something?
Yeah, you can.
If you study a lot of these old maps, like, you know, maps that show California as an island, it shows tribes that were in Americas before they say so. A lot of times in the bottom corner, there will always be a black male, black man, a native, however you want to call it, darker skin, and then a white woman with stars on her. And so it's always the black man and the white woman, but it's the man that created from the earth, original, and it's the spirit that was given from God into him as what we call consciousness or prana, or however you want to call it. But in my opinion, like, there's a reason alchemists did things for a reason, and that's all I want to add.
Yeah, but that would be in a concept of like, those don't even represent physical people.
No. It's a metaphysical understanding. Yeah.
Hey, look, you got to be careful, man, because people in the comments are gonna think you're talking about a black dude and a white woman came together and made humanity. Yeah, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. But he's talking about, like, when you look at
I started with it was from alchemical researches, which means, you know what I mean. I thought I was being careful, but I'm usually pretty not. I'm sorry.
So the thing is, like, what I'm trying to do here is, I know that there's like esoteric wisdom and there's really deep information, and a lot of times things could be misconstrued just because you could look at a picture, which is worth 1,000 words, right? And just look at it for face value. So, right, like, hold on. Damn, I don't got the picture no more. I don't got the picture no more.
Hey,
Hey,
how are y'all doing?
good. How you doing?
Was that you, Rashaud, on the picture?
Where?
Wait, who was in the big box?
Mind and Soul.
Oh, okay. What I was gonna say is, it's never been about color. It's that was constructed here, their race concept or what have you, but it's still about spirit. And then we have to realize we are surrounded. I mean, some of us are just not the same. Internally, it's no disrespect. It's just what it is. Like, I always knew that I was different at 7 years old because I couldn't stand bullying. Like, I would see people being so wicked towards, like what do you call it? A special child doing, and I could not stand it. I was always doing taking up, and just did not have a wicked spirit. I don't know if it's developed over time, but I think that babies innately are not that way. You have to be taught that wickedness. So it's not about color. It's really not. It's about the spirit. But then too, I think that they use like white tea as the face of wicked, and it's not them. It's not them. I grew up around them all my life, so I got to see firsthand like how they operate, and I'll never forget. By the time like I had best friend Cindy Rubin, and she changed on me at like 6, 7 years old. Like it just kicked in. Her parents were happy, but it was just I never felt that way as a child. No child should be done like that. But it's like they were introduced to separatism, racism, or what have you, because I was the only melanated girl in my class for a while, you know? So I saw firsthand how you can go from innocent to wicked. And I saw it over and over again. And I think it's a taught behavior because children innately don't act like that. So it's always been about
But the thing is, where did it come from the beginning? Because it had to start from somewhere. So where did they come from? Because like I keep saying, I was always taught that we were different. Point blank period. Yeah, there's some good people and there's some bad people in both, on both brands. But I still was,
yeah,
I
we
gotta
are
get that
different. We are different internally.
I agree that we're different, though.
I was gonna say I could try to sum it up like classical conditioning. Conditioning is like, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about this in a different way. Like kids aren't geared towards like, sexuality, but if you take them to the grocery store and take them to get underwear, what's on the packaging? When you start looking at stuff and then stuff like that, it's to spur the minds of children. And so also to look at like, why would your friend change? There's like 30 little kids in there with 30 sets of parents. So one kid could have probably talked to another kid that probably talked to Cindy and then slowly drifted off because when you young and you scared, you tend to group up and bunch up. But the more comfortable you are being alone shows an independent mind, a stronger mind than just that of the group think, like with the TV, as soon as something happened, everybody jump and start talking about it. That's like a thing that children do. They group up. I could talk about being in jail and seeing a riot about to break out. The first thing they do is group up by who got their back. So like there's always this separation, but they always go with the group whenever there's like something they heard that make them feel, mob mentality, something that they heard that make them feel a different way, or if they could just even get scared to not do it. Just, just like we see everybody going where they go on Sundays. They say, if you're scared, go where? There you go. You got a bunch of people just like you. So I think that is also a thing as well through generations and generations of conditioning too, because if you look at like back in the 60s, what they don't show you is the Black Panthers teamed up with this white socialist movement. And then they said, we understand it's not about skin color. We understand that it is about a class. It's not a race issue. It is a class issue. So like they don't show you none of the influence that people can have on others based upon purpose and common interest. They only do it through division.
That's true.
Well, I'm gonna say this: I do know about the Black Panthers, a lot. So I understand how he brought, all different kind of people together, the Italians, all of them. That's why Fred Hampton was taken out because he was bringing them all together under the same guy.
was gonna
gonna be
say
the
his
same
name.
thing to go about go against the system, against the government. So I understand it, but I still, you know, thought I still consider we are different. Because like my thing is, okay, we melanated. When we go out in the sun, we suck the sun up. When y'all go out in the sun, y'all burn, y'all skin burn. Well, not just set on fire. You know what I'm talking about. So, I need to understand it
It's
because
different
this
types
is
of melanin
confusing me
too.
for real.
Different types of melanin. Just because you melanated, like we absorb, it gives us energy. You know what I'm saying? But then you have, like, for example, the Africans. They don't. The sun hit different with them. Not the same as us. And this is what it is. And the one thing I always question, like, if we were the same, like they said, I'm talking about the Africans. Why ain't no plasma centers? They ain't checking for their plasma. Ours is like liquid gold. And everybody wants it. It's just like you don't have to do the modern day biting in the neck. It's just go to the bank and get what you need.
But that's the thing, though. They not looking for white people's plasma either. They want ours. Ours
All
is the
right,
gold.
all right. So, um, that's cool. I get it, everybody. But I feel like there's we I think we gotta keep in mind what's really going on in the world, right? So when we start to look at what's really going on in the world, whoever is in power, there's a multitude of them, and they have all different skin tones, right? Whoever is impoverished, there's a multitude of us, and we all have different skin colors, right? Who came first, who came second, who's this and who's that. Those things can probably be figured out one way or another in time. Most of it is just assumptions, I'm sure, because none of us could go back to the beginning. So there has to be a lot of assumptions that are involved in everything that's happening. Who dropped?
No, I
Oh,
disagree
okay,
with
no, okay,
that.
no, I know.
You know
Huh?
why I
Say that
disagree with
again?
that? Because our frequency has been studied since the day before forever. The frequency is
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to do like a back and forth. I know that melanated people came first, but what I'm saying is, like, the conversation can only go so far. It's only going to get us so far, right?
what I was trying to say was the frequency is just like that spinach to Popeye. Once your frequency gets higher, the higher it gets brings back the memory. So you don't have to know your 15th great grandmother, like seeing her eye to eye. She is you and you are her. So this is where the downloads come in, and this is a real thing. It brings back the memory. It activates the memory. It's the power, like that song we used to sing in church, "Power in the Blood." It's
Wisdom.
power in the blood.
It's the wisdom.
Yeah, it's divine wisdom. Most high conscious, yeah. What's the real thing? We just spirits in an avatar.
They say that you can't change without a body. You got to be able to, you know what I mean? You got to have a body to change. You got to have a soul to change. You got to be able to feel what hurts, I guess, as well as what make you happy to form both parts of you. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And say you go through your whole life liking TV shows and you watch TV shows your whole life and you ain't had bad stuff happen, then like you only got one side of life. And so maybe the next side of life you don't maybe not have a TV and you got to go through a whole bunch of stuff to even it out maybe. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, Rashaud can claim this. I claim to be high over wisdom and master of my emotions. But he heard me one night lose my shit, and I lost it 6 ways from Sunday. And I wasn't proud of it. But sometimes you got to release that energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
we all like I said, we all like kind of get that rush because it's the age of Aquarius. That's what the rush is. It's the rush of knowledge and intellect in the air ages. You know what I'm saying? And this particular air age, it deals with spiritual awakening and teaching and revolutionary change in government, self-governance. You know what I'm saying? Are we mature enough to control ourselves and behave ourselves and govern ourselves? It's the end of the custodianship. You see what I'm saying? And so this is what we were under. We were under custodianship because we came down so far, and now we got it. It's our turn to climb back up. So. Yeah, everybody's gonna change. No,
My friend, I love your words, my friend. I just want to let you know that.
yeah. So it even tells you that the Lord doesn't cast away everybody forever. Eventually, everybody's gonna make their way back. It's just what order and what group of people and what is going to maintain the balance each and every time. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's the way I see it. The peace and balance, huh?
No, I just said we literally are going to be here forever. Just different roles. I truly believe that we never perish. The spirit never so quote unquote died.
Yeah. So it's like I said, within the soul, it's the soul is eternal. Like, you know what I'm saying? The soul is perfect and it's eternal. So it's like we are just a speck in the soul. And can we grow our soul? Then we might be able to grow our speck, which is like our consciousness, and be able to have more freedom to do stuff. You see what I'm saying? But under this Pisces Saturnian time of custodianship, we see who the custodian, how they treat us. You know what I'm saying? So like now we go through it to know whether or not that's something to either perpetuate or to stop. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion, my perspective. Are we going to perpetuate certain things or are we going to stop certain things? Like what things are we going to not allow? You know, things like that. Like the wisdom is the knowledge by doing. And so either you going through it because you did something or you going through it to know not to do it to somebody else. Type thing. You feel me?
I think it's about getting rid of all that karma. That's like I'm so conscious of karma, now. So it's like it'll drive me crazy because just little things, and then I'll feel convicted, or when you just mean just to be mean, you had a bad day. But I'm so conscious of karma because that's what keeps people coming back. The karma. It's all about the universal law, karma, and it's right and exact. So until you get rid of the karma, you'll continuously go through this hell. That's what it is. Going through the same lesson over and over and over. That's the hell. That's the real hell. What, you ain't get it? Okay, now you're gonna come back as a mother. Okay, you didn't get it. Okay, you're gonna come back as a cat. Whatever. That's what I really think it's about.
Yeah, we go through like this growth phase of what do you call it? It's called mineral, vegetable, animal. We go through our 3 phases to be able to grow into this form that we're in now, and to try to overcome our animal soul. You know what I'm saying? Territorialism, competition, rank, seniority system, and all that other stuff. Like not saying no. Always giving in and stuff like that. Like this is, can we overcome our animalistic mentality? You know what I'm saying? So like, are we going to keep in competition, which is law of the jungle, or are we going to have cooperation, which is law of civilization?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I had to check myself when my sister-in-law said, your ass gonna come back as a cat, because he would piss me off. It was my daughter's cat, but they would say, it's a cat, it's a cat. I was like, nah, I'm not taking that as an excuse because he know what the hell he doing. So I was really just pissed off at this cat all the time. And then once she said that, I saw it totally different. I'm like, this is me. I mean, this is, an animal, but I could feel his spirit, his aura, so spiritual, but I saw him totally different before I kind of woke up and said, he is me and I am him. Just because it's a cat, the spiritual dynamics of this cat is so great that you just kind of like take it for granted. So I started seeing the cat differently and started treating differently. But hell, I would have been one of those people that you would call a cat abuser because it would piss me off. But when she said, "Your ass gonna come back as a cat," I've made sure all of my actions and moves were not looking at him as a cat, but a spiritual being that's connected to me as family. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's a cat. Some people are abusers of animals, and that's
how can I look at my littlest dog as like that when he keep eating up all my damn house shoes?
I know.
Sometime I might have to be a dog because it making me bad.
I know you forget, but I try to always bring myself back to.
I sure can't give it that right there. I'm sorry. I don't think I'm coming back with no damn kid. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let's reel this back in, y'all. Let's reel the conversation back in because it's been a good talk. Because when it comes to restoring balance and nation building and all that thing, all this shit matters because these are the thoughts of our people. These are the thoughts of just people in general. Like all these things do matter, but in reality, when it comes to the true shit that matters, I try to. What makes me think is like I start to wonder what is important. All things matter, but what takes priority? You know, what needs to be handled first, second, third, fourth, fifth? You know, what is just going to exist the way it exists despite everything that happens? That's how I try to look at things, right? You feel me? Like I've had the fun conversations where, you know, you talk about another nation of people being lesser than and all that kind of stuff, and everybody's having a good old time and shit like that. But then, you know, you start to be like, all right, you know, it's time to buckle down and handle some real business. And every time that I decide that it's time for me to handle real business, the only people that I want to associate with are people with wisdom. And then when I get in the mood where I want to associate with people with wisdom and wisdom only, the crowd doesn't have a color no more. Right? But when I talk about nation building, of course I'm talking specifically to my people, but everybody's free to listen, you know, when they're in the live. But when it comes to the wisdom, like it gets less about color and more about who got the wisdom. Who can I learn from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like when it comes to certain things, like when it comes to like this alchemy and this shit like that, I've learned it from multiple sources. And if I would say that the color of somebody's skin will stop me from listening to their information, I would have never met Holy Trinity. And I let Holy Trinity cook on my live, what was it, 2 days ago? And everybody was amazed.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, everybody was amazed. And the only reason why I met Holy Trinity is because he had wisdom that I appreciate. I know that he's what we would consider to be a white boy, but it don't matter to me at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he does some weird ass shit, you know,
you know, also like as we go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was just gonna mention something like I could be on TikTok all night and then go to work and then go to like 7-Eleven, which is mostly
that was interesting. But I was gonna say like it says converse with the foolish as well as the wise because wisdom is all. And then we don't know if Holy Trinity been following us for the last 4 lifetimes. Like, hey man, these guys are pretty cool. I'm just gonna hang out in the back, and then maybe one day I meet up with them. Like, we don't know that. We don't know if Holy Trinity.
Hey, I don't know that. I
You
don't know that. Well,
man.
what if my great grandmother was higher lineage than your lineage? What if? We can say what ifs all day long, but but cosmic wisdom is cosmic wisdom.
Real shit,
I
man.
was gonna say like maybe like 4 lifetimes ago, Holy Trinity was like maybe he met one of us and was like, man, they really cool. And then maybe we're like, hey man, you pretty cool. You can come with me to the next lifetime.
No, but listen, like I'm on life path 9. Like the 9 is the one that has been here to learn each one of the lessons. I'm on life path 9. My name is Derek. That ain't a white boy name, right? Like I asked my mom, why'd you name me that? I don't know. Like my mom, you know what I mean? My mom didn't give a shit about me. She just named me the first name probably came to her. But Derek is not a normal Caucasian word of 1986. Derek is destruction of the old ways, old systems, and that's what I was here for. I didn't care about color. You know what I mean? I came here for understanding.
And that's crazy that he said he's a life path 9, right? Life path 9's also kind of like schmooze with all the other life paths, which is what he was saying. Like he learns from everybody.
And a Scorpio. I have 5 placements in Scorpio, and all the major placements in Scorpio, which represents a cult. Well, Orion is the white light. Scorpio and is the dark light. It's the unseen. This is why Scorpios they crave to know the unknown. I don't give a shit about what I know. I want to know what I don't know. And it's only through the darkness is where you conceive light, which is intelligence, but it's only through the white intelligence where you get black wisdom.
Brother Rashaud, I want to thank y'all. And then I'll get you next time. Have a great evening, okay?
You too.
All right, you take it easy.
Just like Kemet, like to say that Kemet was the land of the fertile land, the black land. I don't believe that. I believe it's the land of the black vortex. There's an energy source there. Why they built that pyramid there has nothing to do with the Nile or the land or the soil or whatever else. It has to do with an energy vortex, and that's where I differ from every single person that has an opinion, white, black, yellow, red, whatever, that has studied this stuff. I differ from every single one of them, and I can't figure out why.
That's funny. Man, I'm not going. It's an occult thing. I'll just say it like that. It's an occult thing when they talk about that stuff. But I was gonna say about the 9s. See, and that's the thing. Like he's a 9, and he coming over here rocking with us, right? And you see are you a firstborn son, Holy Trinity?
I'm a firstborn son, born on November 1st, All Saints Day, 1/1/1, November 1st. So I'm about as one as it gets, my friend.
Okay. So the chances are you probably took a turn with us. You know what I'm saying? Because look what happened to you. You just said what happened, right? With the mom and everything like that.
Well, no, but yeah, to be real, like I came here to change generational curses, right?
Yeah. No, I'm complimenting. I'm like trying to. Okay. I was trying to like be nice about it, but I was like, you're going through the shit. I'll just say it plainly. You're going through the shit, right?
Oh yeah, like I burn more. Yeah. I'm going through the shit. You're 100%.
Okay, so
spot on.
You were going through the shit. Childhood, adolescence, teens, all that shit. Probably, you know what I'm saying? I could probably say a whole bunch of shit like, you know what I'm saying? Girls curving you got to get it out the mud hard way. You probably spend a lot of time alone thinking about shit. So chances are you're going through what we're going through. You're turning from going one way to coming the other way. You see what I'm saying? From one pole to the other pole. You probably were like, nah, I ain't about to do this way no more. I'm about to come over here. And then now that starts the other way. So like I said, when you look at the yin and yang, when you look at the yin and yang, all that white, there's a little circle of black. And in all that black, there's a little circle of white. So there is some people from over there coming towards with us. And there's some of us going towards them. So, you know what I'm saying? If you look in the occult stuff, it says that the middle part is the beginning of corruption. So it's the middle portions that are able to corrupt because they're still trying to figure out which way to go. So they're still trying to figure out,
Yeah.
how to play it.
But see, but I think that our DNA can be upgraded, and us coming together, I think that upgrades our DNA 100%.
Yeah, if you get within 10% of somebody else, you can start to like assimilate, like your body starts to learn. If you're within 10% of if they're in their lower 3 chakras and somebody else, all they got to do is get within 10%, and then like there is some type of assimilation thing on an atomic level. But once you hit your higher self, that S shell electron prevents that assimilation. So it's like you're separated from everybody.
But then, hey, listen to this. You want some truth, or you want me to stay away from truth?
I care about the truth.
That's up to Rashaud. It's his life.
Hey, look, man, I'm only here for the truth. I don't really care about none of that other shit, for real.
So I got 2 things. So my dad just told me the other day, until 1993, like we're talking less than 5 miles from here, a fish, a catfish, a pay lake, had a sign that said, "Guess who wasn't allowed?" In the 90s, right? My grandfather wouldn't let me on rides if it was a certain type of person, right? And so like I didn't learn that. I didn't because I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it to be truth. I didn't feel it to be natural, or I didn't understand it. Like I didn't judge him because I was so young. But look where I have come. So, look where I've come from that.
See, that's what I'm saying. And he's a life path 9, and like I said, he's went through this shit. So maybe he was like, "Hey, I'm coming over here with black folks this lifetime." And then there goes
But it ain't just black folks. It's yellow. It's everything. It's like who are the Mound builders? The Mongolians, the Scythians, the Tartarians, right? Like I want to bring us all together because when we come together as one, the one that owns the green money has no chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, well, they're going too. You see what I'm saying? You're going the same direction as they're going. It's like the ones that are going through it are the ones that are getting away from the easy lifestyle. And
hey, I will give you this props, brother, because I told Rashaud yesterday I took a break. The reason why I took a break is because I know a lot of things about a lot of different topics. But the moment that I disagree with somebody, they don't like me anymore, right? So I fit in no group. Like I'm a 9. I'm everywhere and nowhere. And that's the thing about the 9 is you bring people together, you plant seeds. But I don't believe that I'll ever be the tree or the fruit. I'll only ever be the seed.
Well, you just gave yourself an out because you said the word believe. So there you go. So there's always, don't ever put a definite on anything if you want to get some.
That's true.
If you want to get, you know what I'm saying?
If you want to get serious about it.
Yeah, don't put it. I'm learning not to put a definite on anything. Everything's becoming, so why put a definite? Why put an adjective on it? Why say it is good if it's always getting better? The better could be the new good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the adjectives. So you know what I'm saying? Or the planter. Yeah, see what I'm saying?
Well said. Well said.
Because like I said, this is about.
Yeah, I'll let somebody else talk. I just wanted to say thanks, and that's why I'm here. And I don't have a mission, right? Like I just want to fit in, and I just want to connect, and I don't want to prove nobody wrong. Because trust me, I could be wrong about more things that I know about, but all I want to do is connect.
Yeah. See, like I said, like I was reading my book. Maybe he feels we're gonna say the vibe over here. You know what I'm saying? He probably wasn't feeling the vibe. He outgrew the vibe he was in. You know what I'm saying? He just outgrew the vibe. So he's looking for the new vibe, like a different vibe that he can vibe with. And it's about
all my astrology sign out of 12, all my planets or all my luminaries are only in 3.
really?
There's 9 that don't have any placements. And so that's where I feel like that's where I'm supposed to be. My higher mind is Aquarius. Aquarius is the higher mind. It is breaking through religion. And I that's why I believe in astrology.
Yeah, astrology is the shit. I got 6 planets ruled pretty much under the rule of Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio or Mars, which is Scorpio anyway, but it's like.
So that's why you and I are a lot alike, and we're both from Indiana, which is, what are the odds of that, right? Like, you and I live within 20 minutes of each other, and we both have 5 to 6, Scorpio placements, and Scorpio is the occult.
Yeah,
I'm a life
I got 3 in the 8th house and a different 3 in Scorpio, and the 8th house is ruled by Mars, so it's Mars. It's the water version of Mars. It's Scorpio.
Yeah, but see, Rashaud just said he's a 3, but see, 3 is the communicator. Where, like, I don't good. Like, I'll fight you in a heartbeat. I'll tell you you're wrong in a heartbeat, right? That's not good at communication. Where Rashaud is good at communication, right? He's that after Gemini becomes Cancer, and he rides those those angles of degrees that gives him those attributes to be like, hey, let's step back, or hey, let's look at this, and not be so one-minded or another, because the Cancer is perfectly even at noon on astrology, which means it does not cast any shadow or judgment.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You know what I'm saying? That sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm a 1. So like like I said, I'm a 1. I have a lot of shit going on with me. I'll just say that. I'm a 1, and I'm learning, and I'm a Leo too. So I'm learning to like sit back, because I'm supposed to be like a leader by support, but I try to. Sometimes if ain't nothing to support, then damn it, I gotta make something happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm a 9. I know too much, and I don't know what's real. I get lost in the sauce because I have so much knowledge coming in. Don't let me fool you. I'm no messenger of God. You know what I mean? I can transmute energy, right? And you know what I mean? I can work with you guys as that 9, but it doesn't mean I have all of the information, because 9 is everywhere and nowhere. Where it's nowhere, it's gaining knowledge. And so anybody listening, I'm not trying to tell you that I am the all-knowing Messiah by any means. 9 is only a transmuter of cosmic energy, and that's it.
I'm gonna be honest. I care about race and color when I feel like it's necessary, but I feel like some conversations it becomes the most irrelevant part, and that's when like divine wisdom is being shared. You know, whoever has it, and I want to hear it. And I don't give a fuck about anything else. When it comes to when it comes to the wisdom, if I hear it and it makes sense, then let me hear some more. You know what I mean?
Take what resonates and leave the rest. Not all intelligence is wisdom.
Exactly. That's just how I look at it. And historically, everybody loves history. So historically, right? This is from like Plato and all these different people talking about about Atlantis, but really America, right? They said that the original people of America were once righteous and virtuous, and the other nations watched them as they lost their virtue and became earthly, and they became the same people that I guess they don't like now. Everybody goes through these different stages in life, we're just living in a time where we get to see the descendants of pale skinned people suffer from the sins of their fathers. Right? That's why, even pale skinned people who have souls, right, have a hard ass time, and they're trying to find their place in society because their ancestors done some dumbass shit, right? But there had to be a time where melanated people did the same thing. Because if we were the first people, then that means we were the first ones to do these things, right? If you listen to these melanated people having these historic conversations, they'll brag about how the white man was the first slave. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are we talking about? I feel like people with souls versus people without souls. In reality, that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's a little bit Slavic, right?
I was gonna say, man, like, when you start to go against the system, you're starting to show that something inside of you is telling you that something's not right. You know what I mean? And if you find yourself constantly going against the grain, then you some people might get frustrated, but some people might discover that you're going against the grain for a reason, because maybe you got to turn the damn board around because you're going in the right direction, but maybe the grain is pointed in the wrong direction. You see what I'm saying?
To me, I think majority of people have to figure that direction out through the most hardest times of their life. Alan Watts said, "The keys to the higher kingdom are only through your lowest self." And there are some people that have this since birth. There's some people who find it through nature, but myself, I found it through hardship. I had to ask for meaning and purpose, and then I was given it. But I had to ask for it before
I want to know a little bit more about
before I
that,
was ever
Derek. How'd that
shown it.
happen? I mean, I'm intrigued with you, like how you opened it.
But it's a lot. Hey, when you go through an addiction and a divorce, and you break your back all at the same time, and
Yeah.
you're stuck with nothing but your thoughts. Your thoughts can either make you or break you, and the only thing that I can think of is that I asked for a reason, because I had a good life, I had a good wife, I got great kids. Why do this if not for a reason? And then all of a sudden, that's when you hear things, and you know it to be true in your gut and not in your mind. And then when you hear it again and again and again, that's what leads you to a path of righteousness, or what we call the mystic. There's a reason why the mystic is alone, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you how much you've helped me, man, because I know that divine knowledge you guys are talking about. The frustration begins where knowledge ends. That's why I'm so like addicted to the mystic now, because what happened to me 4 years ago. There's nowhere else to go for information that like this.
Yeah. But my struggle is trying to unify everybody through this knowledge. I didn't create it. It's so like
that's my struggle, man.
There's ancient
exactly
teachings
right.
that say that I'm not teaching you, I'm only helping you remember, right? And so, like, I'm not saying I created this. I'm saying that we all have potential to gain access to this. And there was a time when this was created, and that's possibly before the Caucasian genetic. That's a great possibility, but I don't know that for fact. And so I barely passed high school. I didn't go to college, right? I asked, and therefore I was given. But then I come across guys like Rashaud, and then and several other 2 or 3 other people. I out of 80,000 followers, there's only a few people that I know to be like-minded of myself. And that's where I will stop and just listen. Like Rashaud said earlier, when you're hearing truth and it resonates, it vibrates, hey, that's when it's your live and you sit back and you don't say anything. You know, it's fun to do that every now and then, because whether I'm right or wrong, it is a variable in the scenario of this reality.
Yeah, and everything I like, anytime when you talk, I'll go in math, Strong's Concordance, and I'll just start plugging in the numbers. That's anything that speaks to me is only math. That's it. That's all. In science and horses, there's a left side and a right side, and they have to be balanced.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree 100%. But I'm really interested in this like ancient. I don't know. Hey, Rashaud,
Well, I don't think it's
I'm not
ancient.
sure.
I
Hey,
think
Rashaud, are
it's
you there? But what would
like
I
our
call the
pineal
most ancient?
gland
Would I
is
call it
all.
Kemet, or would I call it Nubian? What might I call the most ancient wisdom put down on written language?
Damn, man.
I remember.
I would say it was artistry.
Yeah,
It
artistry,
was
hieroglyphs.
So
artistry
pictographs in the Americas.
yeah, on like pottery and walls and on the
Yeah,
ground
picture's worth
wherever.
1,000 words, because you
Exactly.
can look at it and say, why did they draw that? Did they
Exactly.
see it? Did it come from here? And it raises all these questions, and it makes your mind go. It makes a child's mind go, wow, when they see something inspirational. That's one of the divine names of Venus. It's like a aha, like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast, which is like the light bulb goes off. It's one of the divine names.
Yeah, and
So
this is where I trust you guys so much, honestly, or I'm at least advert to listen, because there's a reason why you grow long hair, dreadlocks, right? You're connected to the land. But why do you think the Caucasian shaves his head? The Buddha shaves his head. He's connected to the celestial. These are different energies. When you hear something I say, you might resonate. When I hear something you say, I might resonate. But the thing about it is that you probably know more than me, because you're connected to that energy source. I might know not more than you, but I might be able to connect differently than you, just as you connect differently than I.
yeah. So the locks are the Horus hair locks you start growing them in preparation for the priesthood, and it's it's a spiritual like rite of passage for those graduating. And they also call them warlocks,
Right.
dreadlocks, stuff like that, because you start to enter into, like, we'll say, deeper wisdom and occult stuff. And so the locks are the beginning of your steps, so to speak.
But the thing about it is being connected to the land is being connected to the nature, and the etymology of nature contains the universe, right? So the locks being connected to the earth is also a divine connection to the cosmos, right? So it's an overall connection. It's not limited. You know what I'm saying? It's an unlimited connection. It's a connection to all things that are infinite. You feel me?
Yeah, because your DNA is in your hair forever.
Indeed. You know what I mean? Exactly. I don't know why Morris is muted, but cosmetology, cosmology, etc., etc., etc. Can y'all hear? Put a 1 in the comments. My shit might be fucked up.
To grow the number of people that they can mass deport, because they do not want foreign-born people in the United States.
It cut out just a little bit, but I heard most of, I think, what you said.
Okay. Yeah, I'm muting. My children are up, so if I'm mute, it's just because they're talking to me.
That's what I had a Kundalini awakening 4 years ago, and that's why I like coming on here, because the stuff that, especially like Holy Trinity, I followed him around. Just his math makes sense to me. So when I talk, it really ignites stuff under me, and I'm like, hey, what about this? What about this? Like, there's no raw. If you go to Christianity stuff, you just get judged. You're like, but I'm just talking about like universal truth, and they're like, oh, you just have to read it. And that's why I'm like, I want to go beyond that. I want to feel it. I want somebody else to express it. Why are we here? Because I'm like the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. I never would have thought of that. Years ago, I was just a stoic Catholic. Nope, you just take the body of Christ. You don't ask any questions. And then one day it was like, you better start asking some questions if you want your kids to know the truth.
So, are you still a Catholic, or what happened?
No, I was born Catholic, and then 4 years ago, I had a religious experience I was doing MMA exercises and upset my pineal gland. My wife sent me, she's a surgeon, sent me the doctor, the neuroscientist, go through all their stuff. And he said, yeah, you reset the brain plasticity. He goes, in a religion, pseudoscience world, you could call it stigmata, you can call it Kundalini, Zen yoga. He goes, but when you come to the doctor, he goes, it's brain plasticity. You reset your brain. So now you're basically walking on pseudoscience almost, if that makes sense.
So after all that took place, you were like, you know what? Fuck the church. It's time for me to get spiritual.
Man, I realized 10% is like the inside me, the little horn, left hand path, red heifer, right hand path, feminine, masculine. I saw right past the church, and I'm like, 10% is inside you. Why would I pay you money? I'm walking by all these people on Saturday, to go to all the sports or whatever. And on Sunday, everybody just goes to church and pays some man 10% they really don't know, doing some work they really don't know where it's going. And I'm a farmer, and I've just always helped in my neighbor. And that's the way I truly think. In 1491, why did Columbus have to come to America to tell you about a Greek Christ? I don't get that.
He got kicked out of Europe.
Man, he got kicked out. Exactly.
He got
kicked out of Europe. That's really funny.
Yeah, but in 1492, it was the second attempt for the Roman religious empire to eradicate the Americas.
Yeah, and that's why
I've read that. I've read that multiple times.
So knowledgeable, and this is what I want to find truth, that universal truth to help my neighbor.
Yeah, is the Pope Alexander the Sixth.
Yeah, basically.
Caesar Borgia's dad. That picture of Jesus, that's his son. Pope Alexander VI's son, that's the picture of Jesus. Caesar Borgia, the Borgia family.
See, that's why I come here, because I see the lies in the church, but then I just don't know what to do about it.
But hey, I think one of the first, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I would just point out the fact that they paint him as a white guy with a crypto Jew hand gesture.
Just like in Star Trek.
Just like in what?
In Star Trek, when the Vulcan, the Vulcan hand symbol, that's a crypto Jew Kabbalion hand signal of like the Most High Priest.
Yeah, instead of making the V, put the two middle fingers together instead of separating them.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
it's like just sign. Like West Side, East Side, Biggie and Pac. All this stuff is all related 1,000%. I don't care what anybody. Some of this shit I say is ludicrous. I'd say 89% of it is got some good truth to it.
They play out what's happening on the television. They're telling us, we just can't see it because we look at it as entertainment and not as information.
Like, man, you guys were just saying something. I wanted to hop in and just chime in real quick. Damn, I can't remember. My train of thought is like a rabbit. I'm like a squirrel. I'm all over the road. Damn it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So why is the chessboard and the checkerboard white and black, right? Right, because that's who they want fighting each other. Who runs the world is brown. They're not white or black. These are Italians. These are Palestinians. These are Iranians. These who, I'm sorry if that might be a little bit That might be a little bit fucked up. I said brown, but they are a certain color, right? And then they're not only that, but they're fake Eskenazi Hebrews, which in Greek, when you spelled it, meant you spelled it IOU, because they've been controlling us for thousands and thousands of years. It's not white and it is not black. It is brown, my friend, that controls us.
It is black people in Europe. Go look up.
Yeah, I would say brown. Personally, I would say brown, but maybe I could be wrong.
What is it called? There is a place in Spain called Andalusia.
Mm-hmm.
It's an autonomous place. It's like if Marion County was like Rome. So it's like Rome is autonomous, and so is this place where the Sephardic Jews are at, and they speak a totally different language than Spanish and French. So it's like this. It's called the Basque region, and they're autonomous, and people don't really hear about them really at all. So, and they're one of the richest countries. So that's also
where the rare blood types.
Yeah, where the Spanish Moors come from, or the Sephardic Jews come from. So
right, but the thing about the Sephardic Jew is that they're not natural to the land. That's another genetic change. They assimilated to the religion, so they didn't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, and so like they also say that in the book of Abramelin the Mage, he wrote the book to the last born who have no ties to the land. He wrote that book for them. The Phoenicians are also. The Phoenicians is also what do you call it? The Greeks.
Yeah, hey, mind, body, and soul. Sorry, man, I didn't know that was you. Hi.
Hey, what up?
Yeah, we've talked a lot. You've helped me a lot too with your understandings of math and the way we see the world. I appreciate you too.
No problem.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I was watching someone that put together a documentary, and one of the things that he brought out was that the royals of like the Egyptian period and stuff like that didn't disappear. They kind of like took over Switzerland, and they're really undercover. Like, is that true?
I mean, I'll take it if anybody else wants to.
Go for it.
I think that these are the two groups who rule the world. They're the pharaohs, who are what we call presidents and leaders, and then there's the bankers, right? The rulers, who are maybe the presidents, they switched more, that they merged with religion, right? And so when you can control people with religion and money, you now therefore control the entire world. And so you have the pharaoh, who had the higher knowledge, the priest of this priesthood, who was godlike, but then you had this other group who had a ton of money and would loan money for interest. This is why Jesus came back. Who did he hate the most? He hated the scribes and the Pharisees. It was the one who told you what the written word was, and the one who charged you interest. And who charges you interest if it's not the bankers / the IOUs? Why do they call it IOUs? Is because we'll give you this money, but I owe you, right? You owe me. And if you don't, we'll take it back. And that's the Slavic system.
Derek, this whole thing, like when you guys talk about like money to the church, the 10%, that's what bugs me the most. Because I'm like, if somebody would have told me there was something inside me that would heal my old ass body, I wouldn't be going to church. I'd be lifting more weights and trying to figure out how to upset my pineal gland. Like it truly, like the DMT inside you, like the way the shakes, and when you start looking, I'm like, that is all.
So
like,
you know how your coin has ridges around the edges of it?
Yeah. Hey, okay, I got something after you tell me this. Yes.
I mean, does everybody else in here, how you have ridges on your coins on the outside edge?
I always wondered what that was about.
Yeah, that was called, you got Jude, my friend. And why did you get Jude? Is because they would shave the outside edgings. This is why when you look at the gold standard, it's not a set standard. It's a percentage of a set standard. because they would shave the outside edges and steal from you.
The remnant. I knew
the
it.
Ashkenazi Jews built their wealth.
Yep. Squares and triangles. You make out of a sheet of squares, you can make circles, and then the remnants you can melt back and sell. It was what the interest when you start going above and below, because it doesn't 33.3 won't exactly match 100. The banking system had that figured out and got sued just for doing the same thing when the 1900s.
That's why gold has two different standards of measurement, right? Like you can buy gold on one standard and you can buy gold on another standard.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, that's where the phrase "Eureka" came from. When they were,
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, so there was a king that went to get a gold crown made, and when he received this gold crown, he had a feeling that the crown maker had stole some of the gold from his crown and replaced it with silver or something or whatever. So the crown was weighed with the same amount of gold, and they tested the density, and then
they put it in the water.
But when I can't remember what his name is, when he was sitting in the water and the water overflowed out the tub, he said "Eureka," because that was how he was like. That's how he figured out he could weigh the crown through water, and the density would push the water out. So
yeah. I know what you're talking about. That's crazy. There's so much to this, right? Like when you break it down and you think about it, like where everything comes from something, like everything's been changed, but there's an original source that originated at the reset where we were all controlled.
We are waking. That's what we talked about in that last live. We're waking up to this generation, like us talking. That's the worst thing you can give to a society is a balanced people who understand themselves.
Yeah. I was gonna say something. Rashaud was cooking there for a second. I wanted to say something. I can't remember where it was.
Off the remnants or the banking, the black and white, the original. Man, you're on to so much stuff there.
Yeah, my brain flies. No, but it's true. It is true. This is why you can't speak the word Israel today. There's a reason for this, right? Because this is the only thing that backs their fiat currency, which is a fictitious currency. Makes no sense. The kings of the old America based all their currency off of minerals, gold, silver, quartz. They had many different kinds but a mineral backed the currency. Even seashells were currency. And so when we got off of all these things and we got onto this fiat debt, what did it do? It gave us a Social Security, which made us pay taxes. They originally wanted to do it to slaves, but then when the Italians said, "Why would you do it to just slaves when you can do it to everybody?" And they said, "We'll do whatever you want us to do, my friend, because we owe you a bunch of money." And that's exactly what happened. And we sign every year when we get our license plates and we sign for our driver's license, we sign up for that system involuntarily.
Okay, this goes off to like the San Antonio Mancini stuff when he says the Catholic Bible basically says the reason you're getting this birth certificate is because you're giving us the trust, the corpse, or the corporation for your basically money. You're paying us because we know you're going to die sometime. So the Catholic Church knew to get the heirs, the money, the systems, and generations, you could all marry back then. The popes did. That was a fight over land for 1,300 years. Until they wouldn't let them do it anymore.
The whole point about it was to take away your sovereignty, right? Because that's the whole point of when you take it away from the law of the land, which were the people that were here that were governing themselves, they changed it to the law of the water. And this is why today you can still fight any case, because the law of the land will superimpose the law of the water if you know your grammar parsec.
Yes, and that's what, like, to Americans, we found this ground. For who? for the king.
We
What?
took
Wait a minute.
overly
Whoa, whoa,
charged
whoa.
line.
Let's
I'm
we'll do
sorry.
that now. That's true. Because America, who owns land? Nobody owns land. You just rent it for what, 120 years at most?
Yeah, they do treaties or treatises, which is how to proceed. So when they sign treaties, this means how do we move forward from here? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
And so like when
But
they
that's
do
also
this,
why the Pope bows down to the Prince of Morocco and kisses his hand, because that the only way for us to obtain God's law treaty is through, from my understanding, is the Constitution of Morocco.
yeah, there's friendship and peace and love and all that stuff, but like they were not called Morocco. I think they signed it with the Moroccan Indians in Indiana, in Morocco, Indiana.
And
But
that's super interesting, because guess where they're about to build the new giant data center?
Morocco, Indiana.
And just north of that, guess where the Bears want to build their brand new stadium?
Wasn't it like LaPorte?
Northwest Indiana, which is just north of Morocco.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? So it's like it's a lot of big stuff going on in a town with like 30,000 people. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money over there. So
there's nobody that lives in Morocco. Like that is the most. Yeah, there's nobody that lives in Morocco, but they make it that way for a reason.
Yeah, just it's like now let's go look and see, talk to people in Morocco. Ain't nobody there, but everybody just go there to do business and then leave.
Who was the original teacher of Islam? Dr. Is it Eli something?
Nah, you talking about Muhammad? Or are you talking about over here?
No, over here.
Elijah Muhammad?
Elijah Muhammad. So Elijah Muhammad said the exact same thing. Morocco, Indiana was known as the Mountain of Harmonics.
The Mountain of what?
Mountain of Harmonics.
Yeah, see? I ain't even know that. I just traced it back to Morocco and tracing the names back. And I landed in Morocco, Indiana. And I traced their migration patterns and found out.
All their migration patterns are what we know today as I-65, I-70, and I-36. That isn't it weird that their migration patterns match perfectly our interstate systems?
Yeah, this one's they build over stuff. Just like you have to go down to get better, you have to go deep inside to get the truth. You got to dig under all this shit to get to the truth. And so
that's in the etymology of boulevard, of a promenade built atop demolished city walls, letting you know that everything they've done is built on top of a pre-existing kingdom.
Boulevard means that?
That's what boulevard means. It's of a promenade built atop demolished city walls.
Man, I love learning new things. Now look at Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Exactly. And then, but the crazy thing about Martin Luther King is they call him MLK, and MLK is Molech.
Yep, Moloch.
You know what I'm saying?
Or you can say Molech, peace, but you all can say Moloch as in child sacrifice.
Exactly. And Moloch, you know what I'm saying? The ritual for Moloch is called passing through the fire. And then they say that Martin Luther King said, I believe that I've integrated my people into a burning building, which would be the ritual of passing through the fire for Molech.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Catholic Church, I was like, why are we taking the host? Why is it round? Why do I take it? I looked that up, and whenever she put bowl or bolus, that's what the pirates and the shipmates back then used to put the coin on your tongue so that you could pay Peter for the afterlife. That's why we do the Eucharist. It's called a bolus, B-O-L-O-S.
Yeah, I was going to say also.
Hey.
Huh?
Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
I was going to say BLM is also Balaam. You can find Balaam in Revelation.
Yep, but you know what's funny is look at MLK. When you take out the J, which doesn't exist in our phonetic language, you have MLK. When you give those numerology numbers, gematria, it adds up to 33.
That's pretty good.
Because he was a 33-degree Mason, plain and simple.
Man.
Yeah, that's when I looked. I
L,
was.
M, K. You have
That is
10,
crazy.
11, and 12. Which comes after? Hey, what comes after 9 ether? 10, 11, 12, 33.
Yep. But that's what the numbers are inside of us. That's why I really think what's happened to you and I. Imagine before the internet, guys. Like, where would we go this information? I'd be like, I don't know. It's stuck in my head. I'd be journaling forever. But I use you guys. I'm just copycatting. I'm just like, oh, that's what you. I get
Well,
it.
look at middle school when we drew that weird shaped S, like the 3 lines, and then you connected the
Yes.
lines. These are all geometric shapes that make sense to our soul, but we are just drawing them because we're bored in school because it means nothing to us. Our DNA is wrapped differently, and so like when we drew
That's
those
the only
S's,
reason. That's right. We're David. No, sorry, man. You like spark like David and Goliath. He's a kid. He's just a kid that believes. He doesn't believe Goliath is the devil, big booty man. He just had faith. He's like, whatever. I have faith in my 5 smooth stones. What's that? It's science. It's my senses. I'm gonna 100 times out of 100. I'm gonna beat Goliath because I basically brought science to a fist fight.
Right.
Yeah.
When David challenged, God didn't bring.
Oh, you cut out, Eric. I want to hear that, man. When you were talking about David.
I think he's getting bad signal. But I was going to say there's an esoteric for David and Goliath. David having that slingshot with the rock is intelligence, and he was challenging Goliath with asking questions. No, that was it. Go ahead.
Oh, don't say that was it, because we've talked about this before, because you told me the why is the choice that you make in the slingshot. So don't say yourself short, mind, body, and soul. Keep explaining that, because we've talked about this before, and that was beautiful. That helped me get onto David used the words to use the Goliath's third eye for now the swords. So it's the anagram. What you said, I just like, now that's the pineal gland, or Daniel is Daniel or land. It's basically symbolic for paradise. The 2 brains, left brain, little horn, right brain, red heifer.
Well, it's your senses, because David took 5 smooth stones from the river. Those 5 smooth stones are your natural understanding of this reality of your senses. And so when he took 5, he only needed 1, because when you master your senses, you master your mind. That's why when he hit Goliath in the forehead and knocked him down, it knocked him out, because it only took, when you master the 5 into 1, that is when you are at delta. That's meditation. That's when you are at stillness, and you have no thoughts, and you have no thoughts whatsoever. You are only tapped into pure consciousness. And so David, or Goliath, was 9 feet tall, 9 foot sword, 9 foot shield, 9 foot shadow. Then not again. I can't remember who said this earlier, but he agreed with me that the number 9. That number 9 is representative, and David conquered that.
Yeah, and the Y, the slingshot, is also WHY, and that 1 smooth stone is one burning question. That rock hitting Goliath, this massive, seeming insurmountable object or battle or whatever, knocked him out. So you're the one burning question inside of you to be able to project that onto the Goliath can knock it out. That's why I kind of feel like they don't want us saying certain things, because it can generate motion and get the questions going to be able to knock out this Goliath.
Which in Hebrew, Goliath, if you want to get kind of close, Golgotha means skull, or it means heaven, skull. So if you look at it, Goliath, Golgotha, if it means the skull, that is a direct correlation to mastering your own mind. And what was David? He was a right. He was a shepherd. What is a shepherd? He masters sheep. Sheep mean thoughts. When you master your sheep, you master your thoughts. When you master your thoughts, you master your mind.
So are we saying that David and Goliath represent a mastering the mind?
I would take it as David is your pineal gland, is your that's when you're basically trained, because harem means unbroken horses. So a trained horse, that'd be your beast, would be a harem, unbroken horses. So David to me is pineal or Christ or Melchizedek, and then pituitary would be the Goliath, your carnal nature. John the Baptist would be like your carnal nature. You need to get, right with the world. You need to wash yourself. And then Christ was like, hey, but you got to be a Gentile person doing it.
Well, to me, that Goliath is a Philistine. He is one who opposes, right? And so when you oppose yourself, you have to go within, master your mind. So with Goliath is your higher mind or your lower mind. David is your higher mind. That's why he's a lineage of Jesus, right? And so what did he do after he struck him with one stone and knocked him out in the forehead and the pineal gland? He grabbed his sword and beheaded him. When you separate your head from your mind, you separate your spirit from your bodily flesh, showing he understood that there is a spirit or a higher mind above, big and strong as you want. But if you don't have an internal wisdom, it matters not. So when this young David took 5 stones, so stone took him down, and then he took his sword 9 feet long and beheaded him. He separated head from mind because he was separating physical from spiritual. And that is what it's all about, your internal struggle within. Are you supposed to be perfect all the time? Not so ever. But when something comes up, when a trick messes around on you and you want to think the worst things possible, you have to be able to take a breath and go within to realize that wasn't your purpose or journey. And that is the most basic explanation I can give.
That's good, man. That's why I come up here, because that's what the math. Like I see Moses 40 years, and we've talked about that, in a desert. What desert means alone in a circle. 360 times 40 is 144,000. Jesus did the same thing. Then the Son of Man has to do it in 4 days, because that keeps getting higher elevation.
Hold on, y'all. Hey, OG, what's up, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Peace, man. How's it going? How you doing today?
I'm all right. How y'all doing?
Chilling.
That's what's up.
Hell yeah. I'm still here, everybody. My children in the background, so I'm kind of just, who dropped?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, but I'm listening. This is a good conversation.
Right.
I was reading the comments a while back. There was a few people that were feeling some kind of way and wanted me to stop things at a certain time, but I just ignored them because we gotta sometimes you just gotta let conversations get to where they're going. People want to stop conversations out of hatred, and that spoils all the fun of letting the conversation build up.
But at the same time, they're not where we're at. And if you planting seeds, if you need me to drop down so that you can they can step back and grow their seed, I'd be more than happy and more than welcome. Because
this is called the Cosmic Couch, where we come through and we speak of all things that are growth and development. So if people can't take it, then they can get the fuck out of here. That's how my live is ran. We talk about wisdom, divine wisdom, And either you're gonna sit around and listen to it and take notes, or take your dumb ass somewhere where they're probably arguing and yelling and screaming and not doing nothing. You know, it is what it is.
No, hey, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because that's why I say take what resonates, leave the rest. Because like, you know, like David Icke and all these people, you know, they only preach a certain way. I can't remember who's the black dude that talks about Anunnaki. Man,
Billy
what's his
Carson.
name? Yes, sir. Yeah, so like he might have a little bit of truth, but he's 80% bullshit, right? And so the most important part of this speaking is trading our thoughts. And you know what I mean? That way we don't get suckered into the false loot white system that is a control, right? Because in my personal opinion, he is completely controlled. David Icke, completely controlled. They'll give you a little bit of truth, mostly bullshit.
You talking about Reverend Ike?
Something like whatever his name is. I really don't care for him. But hey, then again, what do I know exactly? What I practice, what I preach. I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know shit from shit, right? But all I do is trust my gut. I trust my gut in the people I speak with. I trust my gut in what other people say to me, and then I take it in, and then I meditate on that. It's all important, 100% all important.
Yeah, no,
Most
your
important. Oh
breakdown
yeah,
of the David and Goliath story was definitely on point. So I feel you. No, I was just clarifying about the Reverend Ike thing. I didn't know if you were talking about him or somebody else.
But look at David's brothers. You know, all of them wanted to be the one king. They wanted to be the one. They wanted to be the strongest, the fastest. They wanted intelligence. David wanted wisdom. This is why he conquered the lion. This is why Orion holds the lion skin, is because that's a physical flesh. David conquered his mind in order to kill the lion, unalive the lion, right? His brothers, bigger, stronger, faster, smarter, they couldn't do that, but David could. And
That's
that's
the
all.
carnal
That's
mind,
all a
right?
symbolic representation for everything that we want is within ourselves.
Oh shit, we got a pen in here. What's that all about?
hey Derek, that was really important when you said that everything is in ourselves, because I'm 51 years old and I went to church a lot of years, and then I never thought of the Bible of being really the incarnate word of truth. I just didn't know where to look or how to look within the numbers or behind the veil. Now I don't even want to go to church anymore, because it seems like, what am I going there to sing to myself and give somebody I don't know money? I'd rather just help my neighbor and be just personal with them right there. Hey, how are you doing? What do you need help with? You doing okay with your kids? Whatever it is, start a conversation. You can't do that in front of a bunch of people at church, everybody trying to look pretty.
Where OG go?
Oh, I'm right here.
Oh, I thought you got in trouble.
Please.
No,
Hey,
but
so
I
what's
work
up,
with
man?
horses every day, guys. And once I just know like what the beast system is and just the connectivity, there's no difference between my horse and any other person. They just want to connect, learn 100%, be a 1% better. And every 100 days, we just got to start over. We're never going to be 100%. And that stuff I never heard in church. You're going to fail. You're going to fail a lot. You're going to ask questions, but where do you go when you really have questions? I wanted questions outside of, is God a man? I want outside that. I don't want to think like everybody else.
You said something. I'm a comment on that. Like when you say, when people think that God is a man, to a to a guy, they'll probably look at a man, a fallible, corruptible man, and be like, "That's who I want to be like." When people think that God is a woman, then guys would shape up to be the best man they could be for a woman. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's
But
more of like a.
the problem is mystically understanding is that only reason God is man is because rain falls from the sky, impregnates earth, grows crops for us to the bread, the prana, the corn, if you will. The only reason God is masculine is because rain falls from the sky to create crops. That is the only reason, because it's the closestly related to sperm that you can get.
That ain't the only, but that's one for sure.
Yeah. This is why Mother Gaia in Greek or Egyptian created Uranus, because she was lonely. She was in the void of Earth. She created the sky god, and then that mother-father relationship created duality. And so that Uranus, that water that falls from heaven, that goes into the earth, the soil, the mother, the womb of creation. The one becomes a two, becomes a three, becomes a four, becomes physical creation.
See, that's why Earth is called Mother Earth or Gaia and things like that, because Earth is majority what? It's not majority land, it's majority water. And the water is feminine. You feel me? So that makes this a water planet or a mother plane, so to speak. You feel me? But the soil has been looked at in many cultures as, masculine. But I understand exactly what you mean by being impregnated.
Right.
And,
That's
springing
why they
forth.
said, that's why there's an argument that women came first, because the very bottom of Greek consciousness is water. Out of the water became the land masculine. And so there is a great argument there that the original creation is the mother god, the Sophia, the Diana, the woman, the womb, the waters. Which, hey, you ever hit a woman the right way? What's that water do? It goes a certain way, my friend.
Hey, I know all about that. You feel me?
Hey, I'm a water sign. That's why I try to get with water signs, because they something special.
Real talk. Hey, shout out to everybody. We made it to 100K. Let's keep tapping the screen and get to 200K. This is the best information y'all heard in 2 days. You feel me?
Thanks
Only
for
here
having
on
us
the
up,
Cosmic
man.
Couch. Oh yeah, for sure, man. This is the Cosmic Couch. I want people from all walks of life with wisdom to feel free. We don't do no hatred. We don't do no bullshit, no argument, man. It's okay to have difference of opinions as long as you're able to articulate yourself in a way that brings about solutions instead of more arguing. You feel me? So that's what I'm here for. I'm here for divine wisdom, and that's what it is. And all the people that frequent my lives, they know what it's about. So I'm glad to have y'all here. You know what I'm saying? Tap the screen. Let's keep cooking. And if you got something to add, feel free to come up.
So this is what I wanted to add about what my awakening did to me, because it brought the Bible into light. Now I can understand, and we start reading what books, what words, and it's, to me, the hero journey over and over. It's the original Genesis 1, Genesis 2, and in every book throughout that, there's two perspectives of it. There's always, it seems like there's Rome's perspective, which is Stoic, and then there's Greece's, which is the spiritual. And then over time, we lose that because we forgot what they were even writing about. And that's what it really, for me, it takes just platforms like this to learn what actually was being said. Because right now, based off of each other, we can amass a lot more knowledge than just reading, because we're communicating and challenging what we think we know.
It all stemmed from reading, though.
That was the backfire of the internet. They didn't expect it to go this way.
Oh my gosh, yes, because before I never wanted to read anything. I just, whatever you tell me, I'll do. It's just easy. I'll just pay you money. I'll just do it. But now it's like, holy crap, I'm accountable for this information. And when you tell me something, it's like, if I don't look it up, I got to tell my kids the truth at some point, like all of this stuff. That's going to be some hard conversations. I don't want my kids to know, hey, dad's a mystic,
See, that's what made Dr. Malachi so special. Like he was the first person really dropping all his knowledge, but he never just dropped the knowledge and just kept going. He challenged you after every paragraph. He's challenged you to look it up for yourself. And he's giving you sources you can go to try to, verify this information. And if you're a good researcher, you're gonna stop right there and you're gonna do the research.
What'd you just say, Jason?
Oh, which part, man?
You just said it. Something just
Shout
said
out to
that his
Dr. York.
response.
Shout out to Dr. York.
I was gonna say, what if I told y'all that book, when every time it says Lord, there's two, because it's Alpha and Omega. Both of them are speaking at the same time. So it's up to you to figure out how you're gonna take each precept.
And
Yeah,
you're
but
based
that's
off what you
that's
said.
all in mind. That's when we are given duality, left eye, right eye. This is why
Yes.
Horus had to sacrifice his sight to gain upper and intelligence, enlightenment, wisdom. Is all because of that, because he had to sacrifice to gain higher intelligence, and it wasn't a physical, or he sacrificed physical to obtain higher wisdom.
Yeah, it sounds like Odin.
Based off what you said there, I've only met about 10 people who've had a Kundalini awakening, and a couple of you guys are probably some of those. Everybody I know had a lot of trauma to make that unwind. And Derek, your story earlier, I grew up really bad. I got stories upon stories, and I think that's what happened to me finally, is it unlocked. But I'm just trying to work with horses. So knowing that we can upset our pineal gland to make us smarter. Now, how can we tell other people that there is a divine spark in you that we can unlock it? Don't be doing drugs and stuff,
Yeah, I've been saying you got to be pure.
You got to be pure,
That's
right?
another aspect. That's another aspect of it people don't realize.
Hey, let me blow your mind.
Do
Who can train dogs and horses the best?
People that are tuned in. That's why I laughed when you said that.
Hold on. That's
people
true.
that are cast out from society
people of
that
a
understand.
certain melanin.
Yep.
People of a certain Texas to Louisiana are the coolest black dudes you ever met, but they can also train animals on a different level than like Michael Vick and dogs, right? Like, just an example, but if you really, really look at it, who is more in depth with animals is melanin, and what is melanin is magnetism. All animals are magnetic, and this is why why they can train them so easily.
AKA magical, because that's where the root word of magnet is, or magnet.
Facts.
Meaning magic.
And then who found Jesus? The Magi.
Yeah, I train my cat. If I tell my cat to get out the kitchen, watch. Hold on. Let me cut my camera and watch. Get out. Look.
He gotta go.
Damn, that's that magic right there. That dog was like, "Yes, sir."
That's good.
That was
That's a cat. That's a cat.
Oh, that's a cat listening?
Yeah.
That's a Sphinx, man. That thing had its own security number.
And the funny part is they really be knowing, but the fact that he get up and listen.
Yeah, that's the part. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, that's how horses. For me, I've told people this before. I see an ambidextrous horse will not misstep. So how are we not going to use more brain power? The Greeks, it was all Greek back then, and they were just training, and they're beautifying themselves. But think how intelligent they.
Big box just for 2 seconds.
Hey, like you just said, Jerusalem. You feel me? Drew,
Oh
druid,
damn, I can't
like
see it. Damn, damn,
like
damn, damn.
like Drew means tree. You feel me? So the ancient druids and such. You feel me? They got all of the wisdom from the trees, from nature.
That's the Hollywood tree, right? That's how they
That's a
use
part
the
of it.
wood, right, as control.
That's a part of it.
Poetry, like that, Jason.
Like even Jesus had an Argus wand. The Argus wand is made of Hollywood, because what we call a magic wand was just wood that had been struck by lightning.
Five fingers, five toes. You know what I mean? This 10, it's that's an
5
important number.
senses.
So like this picture here is in Winchester, Indiana. We were told that they were just savage Indians that lived there, right? Okay, why would they have a depiction of Zoroaster, who was the man who sent the three magi to find Jesus? Why would that be in Winchester, Indiana?
Because what took place was here. Everything in the Bible happened in America.
Exactly, my friend. But I just love to show how these things are stuck around or stay around. Like you just don't do this. You know what I mean? You just don't. You don't do that.
Right. Is that in a national park?
Yep. And then who is this? Zoroaster. So how come you have Zoroaster and then you have, oh man, I'm drawing. Who's the blank before Zoroaster? Asian.
All the national parks are
Talking about the
biblical
Tao,
locations.
Lao Tzu.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So the first one, I was mistaken. First one, Lao Tzu, but look at this Zoroaster. Look at it says BC Magi. This is in the middle of nowhere in Indiana. How can you make sense?
You went to go look for that picture.
What's that? That's a pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
And this is in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, right? Everything that predates Christianity seems to always come back to the Americas.
Yep.
That's what we talked about before. I had a grandma. Her name was Morts. And I'm like, why do I even think about the Moors and stuff? I keep thinking about it. And we talk about that DNA inside of us. And I'm like, man, I upset something because I'm wanting to research my ancestry bad. And it led me to the Moors and Americas. And I'm like, and I'm just like, to myself, I can't tell anybody what I'm feeling. And I start listening to y'all talk. I'm like, we can't tell anybody what we're doing. I mean, because it's waking up to like, we've been here before. Like, don't tell me reincarnation's not real.
You said you've known, like, how many people did you say you known to have Kundalini awakenings?
About 10 now.
Say about 10. It's about to happen for a lot more people. Go, my boy who's on the camera. Can you pull up Revelation 12? Chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've never met a woman that has experienced Kundalini energy, and I mean, I know some powerful women.
Me too. It's all men.
And they just be honest. They say they have never experienced Kundalini energy.
Yeah.
You know
the
what
traumatized
because
men.
I think a lot of them lack a discipline.
I think that
I'm
they
talking about some divine souls.
Kundalini energy. I think they are Kundalini. They don't have to have it in a way. I think they're already Kundalini. We just don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Melissa,
think. There's a girl on here that had one.
Yeah, no, it takes discipline. Which
she's really
I
good.
I say you gotta literally abstain from the woman. You gotta practice abstinence and refrain from getting with her. That's how you reach Kundalini.
Yeah,
Hey,
Sandy,
have
I
you
I
didn't do.
heard
I
that
was
too.
I was just doing
look
MMA. I'll be honest. I didn't do any of that stuff. I went and diet and exercising. I was just
look
doing
at
stuff in rhythm.
Hollywood. Look at Angelina Jolie. These women are priestesses of high power. There's a reason why you have Freemason. Equal to that is it's called the Eastern Star. Women have power. Trust me.
Okay, so the book of Exodus, because I told you about 4. Yes, that's what you see beyond that, Derek. That's why I like talking to you, because you're like, man, you're not. The book's not even talking about man and woman, really. It's talking about the masculine and feminine within
Divine
yourself.
masculine and divine
But then
feminine.
outside that, yeah.
Hey, Macy.
Yes.
Hey, Casey Mason. Yeah, Angelina was born a man. Yes, she was. She was born a hermaphrodite or a homunculus, right? She was born with duality, but without a soul. So she's not a true trinity.
Yeah, homunculus is not even like, that's like that's something you can create in a petri dish.
Yeah, artificial person.
Yeah.
That's why Atlantis was severed, because they practiced black magic. They're trying to create something from nothing. But guess what? You can create physical life, but from God, you cannot possess a soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good, guys.
The soul comes from Neith, and it comes from the black woman, or if you want to call her Sophia.
I mean,
Revelation
but
12.
it can't be created nor destroyed, right? This energy that we call in the soul. So did she create it? Is what you're
Hey,
saying?
hold on. Hey, Holy Trinity, I had to move you because you said that H word and you got violated. Yeah, you got violated. So
I was gonna say
Wait, can you
Revelation
spell
12.
it so that I don't say it? Because I don't know what he said. What do you say? HATE?
nah, the her.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy that they would do that though.
Yeah.
But
Hermes and Aphrodite.
they might be like, he said that too fast. Yeah, but Revelation 12, the woman and the dragon, a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on it. That's talking about Sophia. It's talking about the wisdom.
Yeah. See the glory of heaven. Like
You
I
think
asked,
about it, you got
I
13
ask
chakras,
Hebrews.
right?
I ask Hebrews
So
all
this is
the
why I
time.
said that Kalunda awakening is about to start happening. Because if you look at the rainbows, how they've been hitting lately, is they got more than 7 colors now. As above, so below, as within, so without. So when you watch what's going on in nature, that's what's going on inside of you too. The rainbows are having like 9 colors now. So we're gaining more access to higher chakras. We really got more than 7 chakras. We got 13 in all, which aligns to that Sophia energy
It's
you
got
were
a lot
talking
more than
about.
that. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's if you go into the hands and all of that. But I'm talking about from
it's
the earth.
77 lower mansions. People call the first chakra, or they call it the root chakra, but there's literally 77 lower mansions, what the Hindu call it.
Right. That's when you're going into the legs and all that. I'm talking about the earth up to, from the earth Stargate up to the cosmic Stargate. So you got the 7 within your body, right? And that's what most of us have had access to, which is the root up to the crown. But right now, because of all the energy coming onto the planet from the sun, we're gaining higher access.
Super consciousness.
We're gaining higher access to the 9th through 13th.
And that's why they keep
chakras.
And that's why they keep spraying the skies. And cause I swear I ain't never seen it be cloudy a whole week in a row. Like in Virginia out here, they making it cloudy a whole week in a row. Like
right, because of that solar activity that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Look, but RJ, if you go outside at like 6, it don't be that way.
Yeah.
Hey, Mine, can you pull that up on your phone and like take the main? My bad, Rashaud. Go ahead.
This nigga. That's all good. It's all good. Just, cut off the host in mid-sentence. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? That's just what we do around here. My fault, Rashaud. I know you're just trying to host your live, but I got better things to do while I'm on your live. It's all cool. I forgive you. You know what I'm saying? But nah, hey, go outside at like 6 o'clock and you'll see, you can see them put this shit in motion. That's
Yeah.
the crazy part.
Yeah. Absolutely. I got so many pictures and videos of it, Rashaud. Like I take pictures of it on a daily. Like I'll take pictures, let's say around like 1 p.m. when they just first start spraying, and then I'll take pictures at like 4 p.m. and you'll see the whole entire sky just covered.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Hey, I just noticed how you got these twin pillars on the screen.
You like that? You see what I did there?
Yeah, that's Kabbalistic.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's always been about. I be doing shit for a reason all the time.
Red in the blue, purple in the middle. Okay.
Sun and the moon. Crown chakra. They try to divide us, our inner kingdom, with outer influences like Democrat, Republican, Crip and Blood. But all these reds and blues, you put them together, they make the crown chakra.
Exactly, and I like how the crown down there with the with the Malkuth.
You see how it makes a triangle too?
The Ketha is the Malkuth. Like, so that means that the Most High is the Most Low. You feel me?
Exactly. That's what I try to tell individuals. I was like, yo, because they be like, oh, you got to get out the root chakra. I was like, nah, you got to like make every chakra righteous, and then you could exist in any one of them.
Man, look, what they call the root chakra is your sacral self, or your you know what I'm saying? It's literally your sacred self. The only problem is we're not treating it sacredly.
Exactly. Out here all willy-nilly running around doing all kind of nasty shit. You feel me? But if that's the tool you use to create, that's a divine tool. That's the instrumentum divinum.
Yeah, it's not the lower self, it's the sacred self.
Facts. That's a divine instrument right there. You feel me?
Exactly.
Treat it like such.
Yeah, and that Revelations 12, it tells you what Satan used, or the devil, right? Because that's in there. But it tells you what tools he uses to keep you and to keep your chakras from being out of alignment. It's real deep when you really look at it. Obviously, you can't look at it as literal, but it's talking metaphysically. It's dope.
Could you imagine us talking about this in about 1863 to 65?
Oh yeah,
they'd burn us alive.
Yeah, they'd probably beat me extra effing deep. What are you?
Oh, we'd be in the same room together, man.
To
That's hilarious. That's so true, though. Because when I had my awakening, I'm like, I gotta go to a priest. I want to share this information with him, and he was like, "You really need psychiatric help." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not coming back."
see, like I said, everything goes back to something that has a meaning. So, like when you're singing in the field, those are frequencies, but it's also teaching higher knowledge. And so where they make fun of it now, or back then, oh, you just sing in the field and pick your whatever. No, that goes back thousands of years on how when you sing, you can grow a stronger crop that has more nutrients when you sing to the plant.
Yeah, it's called sonic bloom.
Thank you. I like this dude. Well, what's your name, my friend?
Yeah, I'm D Calico, but everybody on TikTok call me Moorish.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry if I haven't met you before. Maybe I have, but I'm cooking for my kids. I'm smoking a little smoke. I'm, you know what I mean? I'm trying to teach a little teach, and I'm all over the place.
Now we all on the same page.
But nice to meet you, my friend.
Yeah, you too, bro.
Indeed, we all on the same page. Restoring balance. You know what I'm saying? For everybody that's in here, y'all see what happens when you come to the cosmic couch. Balance gets restored. wisdom gets spread around like wildfire. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everybody for tapping the screen. Let's keep tapping though. Don't get too caught up in the information that you forget your fingers work.
Oh, yep. Especially if y'all got one of them tappers. Y'all go ahead and just strap it to the phone.
Hell yeah, strap the tappers and let's get it going. You know, my children are up in the background, you know, but we all doing it. Everybody's a parent. We just up here, you know, we cooking and cooking. You know, send some gifts to the panelists because they're actually sharing some really amazing information. You know, I know y'all got caught up listening and y'all forgot to send gifts, but you know, gift the panelists and let's keep this thing going.
Yeah, that's why I start reading the Bible and I start looking at all the anagrams, and you'll see me do it because I really see the duality. Because my left and my right side of my brain, I can feel it inside me. It really does feel like two fish inside your how do you say endocrine system?
Yeah,
so that's where you're crying out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it's upset. So then when I start looking at the Bible and I'm like, what are they trying to say? And I start breaking down the elements and I use strong concordance. And I don't care what book it is, the Septuagint, the book of Thomas, the book of Mary Magdalene. You start putting the numbers back in what they were writing. I'm like, it's all numbers. That's why I'm so addicted to Derek and his information in his head. I'm like, so we got to get more of that out.
And do you know what Thomas means?
I don't, man.
Yeah, Thomas means twin. So this is
twin,
okay, Deuteronomy. Okay, twin.
Yeah, Thomas Didymus.
Yeah, that's why I love coming here.
The twin of Jesus. Or who you call Joshua. Joshua.
That's right. And I appreciate you guys' information. I appreciate your guys' sharing the information. Because like therapy, for me, it's like, this shit happened. What do I go to? There ain't nobody.
That's real.
But for me, like, I love like raising tough kids that are sensitive. I mean, that for me, and I get around masculine men that are sensitive, like, no, I don't care. I just tell the truth. I'm humility right there with you.
No. Like I'll fucking fight whoever. But at the same time, I'm also feminine, which means
boom.
I believe that's how I can tap into the feminine wisdom.
Put it like this. We're also emotionally intelligent.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna mute and listen. That was great.
Yeah, man. Because like they say, emotional intelligence is being able to avoid situations. You know? That's where emotional intelligence comes in.
And I got 6 water signs. Well, water is intelligence, but water is also feminine. And so when you allow that water sign to flow within you, you're flowing in not only the feminine, the Sophia, but you're flowing in cosmic knowledge as well.
Yeah, one and the same. Yep.
Because being born I'm 20 people town of Danville, Kansas, and it's the Roman Catholic. You think beat up everybody beats up everybody, and you have to dominate no matter what. So being raised like that, but then out in nature where you help everybody, and then all of a sudden you tap into the feminine side, it tears your world apart. Your what is truth and what is not truth. But that's what awakening did to me. It made me like want to share my feelings and talk about it, and then listen to other people's. Because around being about a bunch of white guys your entire life, and then going up to Wichita, Kansas, and then seeing honestly how black people and brown people, Hispanic people conducted themselves with the emotional intelligence. Me as a white guy, I don't know, I just get mad and throw my fist up and get pissed off at the world. I'm like, man, you can't act like that. You're gonna get hurt up here. So that
look at LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James is dark, right? But he's the biggest sellout white supremacist that there is, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like, I don't judge anybody because I'm like, until I walked in your shoes, I'm like, let's just roll together, you know? I'm like, no, because that's
Except for
the
LeBron
reason you
James,
make
he's a
it.
bitch.
For the reason I made it on the streets is you can't be a snitch, but you got to help everybody out and you got to be honest. But I think God's using us all to wake each other up and share our stories back in, because that's all we are, is the stories of stories. You know, like our skin just done.
Look at AI, Allen Iverson. He was one of the last greats of all time. But before Jordan signed his shoe contract and went mainstream, look at AI, Allen Iverson. He's one of the most pure dudes you could ever speak to.
Yeah, and like you said, he's got that sensitive side.
He's got a sensitive side and cornrows, which the cornrows, or the cornrows, I think that's what they called them, right? Well,
Yeah,
that's
braids,
sacred
cornrows.
geometry, right? That's lining in cosmic energy. He knew what he was doing. I'm just talking shit here. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
No, I like that. You said cornrows are sacred geometry. Yeah, talk about it. That's what's up.
Because you guys know what a Pharisee, you know what a farrier is, a horse shoer. So a farrier or a Pharisee, pharmaceutical, again, it all goes back just to what you're talking about, the pharmaceuticals, guys, that within us.
Yeah,
That's everybody
that makes
trusts a
sense.
farrier. Why is that? They charge a fair price to shoe your horse. They're not out there ripping people. That's e-commerce. That's a Escapulus,
Fair price.
right? And Hermes. That's the difference between Escapulus and Hermes. One's economy, one's free. Freemason. The hospital would be Hermes because you have to pay for that knowledge. The Escapulus only has one snake because it's free.
That's why Hermes came out of nowhere. They can't tell where Hermes came from or where his indoctrines came from.
We're talking about the coins.
Asclepius comes from Greek, which is one serpent, which means two into the one, spiritual into the physical, and
that's good,
that was the true religion.
The true religion. That's what I'm being woke up to. Just what you said. That's how it resonates with me. Knowing.
Hey. True religion or true healing? I'm not positive on that, so don't take me. But think about that.
Hey, and they got the clothing company, True Religion, and the symbol
that's huge right there.
The symbol for true religion is a tree. Huh?
I thought it was the horseshoe. No?
Is it on there? Damn. Am I right? You're right.
I think it's the horseshoe.
Damn sure.
The horseshoe represents Mary Magdalene in the magnet, the sea of fishes, which would be half side of the coin. The other side of the coin would be you. And then when they go together, the O positive, O negative, the blood or DNA, RH factor, the red heifer. They didn't have the word zero or nothing back before the Romans. They just started with a tally system, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you start getting into Hindu and the zero, love, tennis, ground zero, the kneel, the love, then they're like, wait a minute. Then it kind of opens up to people that are woke or like, this Bible's an because before Philo of Alexander, everybody thought the Bible was just historic. Nobody thought about it as being the logos. And then all of a sudden Christianity birthed. What was that? Where you're selling 10% information about yourself that you already know inside.
But the thing about it, I go back and forth. It's not about the Americas. It's about the Middle East. That's why they want to control the Middle East, is because that's where they changed us, right? And hear me out for a second. So whenever the Middle East, when they changed everything, that's where they create religion and currency, the Babylonian system. We didn't have that here before. I'm sorry, my kid's talking to me. I lost my train of thought.
He
No,
said the
that's good.
Babylonian system, we didn't have the currency before.
Yeah, no, we didn't have the currency before. So that Babylonian system that was created was for control, right? And it was created in the Middle East or the.
No, I'm gonna start cooking them.
Go ahead.
Right here.
Is that music?
Sound like some Michael Myers meets Trap.
Which and look at
Michael Myers meets Shrek. That deserves a laugh.
Yeah.
Like Michael Myers, he was chosen from a certain tribe, from a certain bloodline, because when we resonate with a certain bloodline, we want to buy it, we love it, we know it to be true, and so he came from a certain bloodline, and why do you think that white America all of a sudden took on to it? Is because it's a certain vibration or frequency, if you will.
Hey, look, y'all, I got to get off here. It's time for them to eat. Then after that, they take a bath. You know what I'm saying? The whole routine.
Hey, thanks, guys.
Ready for sure, man. I appreciate y'all joining. It's been great, yo. It's been a good live. We kind of got sidetracked from my original conversation, but we went into some good information. So I really, I ain't mad at it. You know, we're gonna come back on tomorrow, same time every day, and we're gonna finish off what we started earlier and get back into this nation building. And you know, if we end up here, we end up here. You know, we let this shit go where it goes. You know, where the universe takes it. Hey, for sure, Jason. It was good to meet you today, buddy. Peace and abundance, everyone, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. All right, peace.
Trademark, I don't think you would have been in jail.
Nah, but when you're fighting with politicians, bro, it's different because like I'm telling you, I should have been released September 15th. I believe I should have been released. I went to court. They told me I was getting released. They sent me back, and then an hour later they called me back to court, a new case. So they gave me a new case, and I had to wait 2 more months. And then when I went for that, there was no evidence. They dropped it, but they put another case on me. So what they were doing, they were dropping and putting new cases each time.
My goodness gracious, yo. Are you in Texas, bro?
No, California.
Oh, it's the V.
That's cool. Especially Riverside County is the worst. It's the worst county to be in. I mean, they're kind of mad at me because since I already reported 2 of the DAs to the Bar Association, one of them I think is about to get disbarred, and then I reported a judge to the Judicial Council of Sacramento. So it's like they already know who I am.
Yeah, you got a target on you now.
Kind of. They already know who I am.
Yeah, you got a target on you now.
Yeah,
bro,
man.
You hanging on somebody's fridge right now, bro.
Yeah, he done started a war.
Like even the police officers that came in and got me, it wasn't a regular cops. It was like SWAT. They were rolling like in 10 all black cars, and they came to a different county, different city, different county, where they had no jurisdiction. They still got me though. And when we took it to, they even want to try to get me for contraband. We took it to prelim. The lawyer just destroyed the fucking cop, the corporal, the witness, everything. They dropped the case for that.
They're just bagging up, man, bro.
So right now, I got like close to 2 million of just.
You said 2 million?
Yep.
Oh. Woo. See now, look, we just went to preschool all the way to goddamn college in 3 seconds.